the number of cars exported increased something to between 1995 and 2000. What words would you use? What prepositions in particular would you use to fill in those gaps? I've got two people, Constantino and Michael. Number one, Constantinos and Michael. What do you think, guys?
From 180,000 200,000.
Yeah. Also underline this expression between and, so you can give the time frame. Sales of ice cream increased. Constantina, are you here? Constantina and Michael increased.
Hello.
What would you give here?
By 15%.
By.
So because there is a difference, it increased by 15%. Yeah. Oh, I didn't want that. I don't want the answers to be revealed at once. That's not good. So I'm going to do something different. Let's write with the pen. No. Yeah. So let's look at the next one. So you said by. They started Maria, Andreu, and Constantinos and Michael. They started. What do you think, guys? They started. Yeah, because it's a specific number. So they started at 400,000 gallons and then peaked, which means they skyrocketed. They were increased. They peaked. Any ideas, guys? Raresh? They peaked at, yeah, so some people would think that you have to write 2 because there is some kind of movement, but no, it's the peak is not a movement. The peak is about the top of the mountain. So the peak is the very, very top of a pyramid. This is a peak. So it's a specific point. That's the highest point. So when you say there is a peak, the numbers have reached the peak. The peak is the highest point that you could ever reach. There's no higher than that. So it's the highest possible that you can see on the graph. There was a decrease. The percentage of people working in the private sector in 2007. What do you think, guys? Antonio is here. No, Antonio is not here. So what about Georgia? Georgia and Michael and Konstantinos.
Decrease in.
Do you guys agree with Michael? There wasn't a decrease in what? In the percentage. The percentage. So the percentage is about percentage is about the proportion of people working in the private sector in 2007. The number of patients rose and then fell something to 1,000. And there is something else here. During 2010, Georgia, Rafaela, and the people online.
Between 2,400 during 2000.
Yeah, between 2 different numbers. So they rose and fell. So there was, you can you say like there was a fluctuation between those numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, they fluctuated between this number and this number. Very good, Michael. And furthermore, there was a rise. Can you people tell me what kind of rise was there? Rafaela, Nicole, and people online? Over 80%. Konstantinos and Michael. Other than that, there was a rise of 80%.
Of 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Cable sales in the third quarter of 2015.
I haven't noticed the preposition that you gave me.
Of 80% in cable sales.
In. Okay. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay. Prices of dairy products have increased. Konstantina and the people online have increased. Yeah, you're right. The people online.
By 10%.
Exactly. So this is the difference. By 10% in the last 3 years. Are you guys ready for the next exercise? You guys ready?
Not showing on the screen.
What happened, Michael?
On the call, I have it on the laptop, not the phone. It's still showing Let's IELTS.
You have, so you're telling me that you have the page on the laptop, but you don't have it in your hands.
Yes.
But I think. So you mean that we haven't sent it to you, or
no,
we
I
have? You haven't you haven't printed it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't have the time to print it?
Yes, but I papers, yes.
Can you please tell me again, because I need to improve your speaking skills, because you need to be more understandable when you speak. Because you're trying to tell me something, but I don't understand what you're trying to tell me, and that's something we need to work on.
I'm trying to say the Teams call, it's glitching a bit, so I can't see your screen.
They can't see my screen. Are you able to see my screen now? Just a moment. Are you Konstantinos able to see my screen? Can you see my writing?
Yeah, of course.
Konstantinos can see my screen, but Michael can't see my screen, right?
Yes.
Michael, can you sign out and sign in again?
Okay.
Can you leave the call and come back? I'm going to accept you. Okay. So, guys, there was a significant, which means important, rise. What do you think, guys? Can you say again? Constantino, can you say again? Rares is right. Rise?
The answer. By the number of sick days.
No, τώρα που είναι ο Μάικολ μέσα να σου πω στα κυπριακά, τα ελληνικά, ότι για να βάλεις τον πάει αφαιρείς τον αριθμό. Εντάξει. Ας πούμε, αν ήταν, ευχαριστώ, αν ήταν μπες, Κωνσταντίνο μου, αν ήταν μπες, ευχαριστώ Λουκά μου, αν ήταν μπες Κωνσταντίνο μου 50% και γίνει και 70%, σημαίνει να κάνεις 70 πλην 50 και να πεις it increased by 20%. Άρα για να βάλεις τον by κάνεις την αφαίρεση και να δεις τη διαφορά. So what I'm saying here in Greek is that to use the word by, you need to detract two numbers. For example, let's say that we have the number 50% in the number of sales, and then the number of sales increased to 70%. You can say the number of sales increased by 20% by detracting the number 50 from the number 70. Have you understood what I tell you? Okay, so is when you detract numbers, okay? So can you correct yourself if possible, Konstantinos? Can you give it another go?
Yes,
you guys,
maybe. In the number.
Yeah, now we've reached the consent. Now we all agree. So we've reached a consent that the answer is in the number of sick days that employees took in 2012 as compared to 2010. The figure went 12 days a year. So what do you think, guys, in the classroom and online? Yeah? Can you say all together? I hear you.
Yes.
The people who are online, I want you to speak every single time because I worry more about you because you are not here in the classroom, and I want to be sure that you're listening to me and that you're following me and that you can participate. Okay, you're not having any connectivity. You're not having any connectivity issues. Okay, so please be here. Be here mentally and responsive. So the figure went from 12 days a year. Yeah, I can hear both the people that are online and in the classroom. Two. 18 days a year. This increase, what do you think, guys? Of this increase of, you said of?
No, just a second.
I don't know if there's a connectivity issue, but I haven't heard the answer clearly. The people who are in the classroom gave me an answer, which I agree with, but the people online haven't given me a clear answer. So I'm waiting for you to repeat it. Number 4, please. Again, one more time.
At 6 days.
So I've heard the increase of that, okay, of 6 days. Konstantinos Mou, you need to be careful with the use of the word at. The word at refers to a very specific point, not a change. You don't use the word at when you describe its change. So you say, for example, the sales were very high at a number of 8,000 sales per year. So I use the word at, but it describes a specific point, not a change. I'm referring to a specific number that is not being changed. So the sales are that point that are not moving. I'm just giving the number at that very specific point. Here I'm describing a change, so you're not supposed to use the word at here. So this increase of 6 days in a 2-year period is surprising, considering that it had decreased. Here we've got the word between. So what would you think about the answering the gap here?
By.
Yeah, so because there is a difference here, we have detracted numbers. So it had decreased, let's say from 90 to 80. So it's 90 minus 80 equals 10. So it's by 10% between those years. At this rate, it is estimated that the figure will surge. What does it mean, surge, you guys? Yeah, go up very radically, okay? Surge. Number 6, people online, can you repeat the answer?
Surge is like increase and rise and went up.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And because here we can see a movement, like an increase, an upward change, an upward trend. When there is movement, what preposition do we typically use, guys? Constantina, don't use your phone. What preposition do we typically use? Yeah, to when there is some kind of movement, we use this preposition, okay? So 26 days by the year to 2020. So are you okay with this exercise? Let us proceed to the next one. I want to ask Michael whether you can now see my screen.
Yes, I see it clearly now.
So we fixed the problem, that's good. Let's proceed to the next exercise. So it is important to vary sentence structure so your writing does not sound monotonous. One effective way of doing this is alternating between noun and verb forms. So you may not understand what I mean now, but when we put it in practice, you will realize what I mean. So in this exercise, we need to change the following sentences so that the meaning remains the same, as shown in the example. We need to make sure that we use the correct preposition. So, for example, at, for, in, out, of, on, under, of words, little words are prepositions where necessary. The previous exercise is well dealt with prepositions, Constantina. There's some kind of gossiping over there. I hope it's not something negative that's being discussed. Rome has experienced. So let's do the first one to start with. I have a little issue in the classroom. Robert, can you move towards my left hand so that I can see Georgia, because I can't see Georgia. Hello, Georgia, again. So thank you, Rarish. So there was a dramatic increase in community recycling campaigns in 2008. So to show that we use a variety of complex grammatical structures, it's not wise to always use just the active voice, but we need to use a passive voice as well to know that we have the capacity to do so. Active voice is I kick the ball. Passive voice is the ball is kicked by me. So active voice is when somebody does something. Passive voice is when something receives an action by somebody. There was a dramatic increase in community recycling campaigns in 2008. Community recycling campaigns. We need to use the passive voice, not the passive voice here. We need to change the syntax. There was a dramatic increase in community recycling campaigns in 2007. Well, community recycling campaigns increased. So there was an increase. So there is a noun here, but there is a verb here. That's the difference. I was speaking about the active and the passive voice, but this is not the case in this very exercise one. Rome has experienced a steep decrease in real estate prices in the last quarter. So the Timorio in the last quarter. Quarter is like just a moment, print screen. So the quarter is like this, 1 quarter, okay? So Rome has experienced a steep decrease in real estate prices in the last quarter. So real estate prices, anybody here? Yeah? Yes, Maria. In Rome? Yeah? Thanks for the remark. Even this one. So real estate prices in Rome What tense do we need to use? The present perfect. Have decreased. In what way? In what way? Steeply. You better put the adverb. It's not an adverb of frequency. And then so you're not supposed to put it here, like we learned about the adverbs of frequency. This is an adverb of manner, shows how. So you put it here. Is it clear? See, so Maria has for example, let's say if we have the adverb usually, often, these adverbs go before the main verb. These are adverbs of frequency, but if you've got the adverb of manner, typically it goes after the verb. Okay, can you take a note of that? Okay, Michael, are you following us? And Konstantinos?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Okay, real estate prices in Rome have decreased steeply. Can you proceed, please? In the you are not supposed to change it. So in the last quarter. Have you got any questions about that? Yeah.
Real estate prices have decreased steeply in the last quarter.
Real estate prices have decreased steeply in the last quarter in Rome. To write in Rome in the towards the end. Real estate prices have decreased steeply in Rome in the last quarter. It's okay. Yeah. There's a student asking if it would sound natural to say real estate prices have decreased steeply in Rome in the last quarter. That's still okay. If you change the if you change the location, the where, you can put it in commas in Rome. Use commas if you want to change it. It's like something like it's breaking the sentence in half. Yeah, you want to go to the toilet? I want you to raise your hand for participation purposes as well, not just for going to the toilet, my love. You go to the toilet and come back and give me some answers, okay? Unemployment figures surged drastically in 2002. There, people in the classroom, what do you think? Okay, you are almost right. Just a moment, somebody. Okay, and then what about Nicole? There was, yeah, yes, not a dramatic, but a drastic, because we need to use the same as before, like use the same root of the word. So there was a dramatic or a drastic, yeah, surge in unemployment. Oh my God, where are you? In, oh, in unemployment in 2002. Have I forgotten anything here? Have I forgotten anything here? Have I left something behind?
No.
What do you think? The word figures.
Yes.
Skipped it.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was a dramatic surge in unemployment figures. I'm trying to preserve the meaning as much as possible. That's why. So The number of students, Michael Moore, attending university fluctuated moderately, not too much or not too little, between 1995 and 2000. There
was a moderate fluctuation in the number of students attending university between 1995 and 2000.
There was a moderate fluctuation. Yeah, I hear you. So it's correct. So I'm going to make it up here. There was a dramatic fluctuation, you said, in the number of students attending university between 1995 and 2012. All correct. Good job. There has been Michael Moore, I've seen that you've left us and then you came back. So I guess it must have been because of connectivity issues. Now, can you see my screen clearly?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Now it's clear again. Okay. And your I can see you very clearly as well. Your image is very sharp. There has been a sharp drop in the average salary in Boston in recent years. The average salary, number 5, people in the classroom and people online,
has dropped sharply.
Where? I prefer you to say where first.
The average salary has
the average salary because I'm trying to preserve the meaning and the syntax as much as possible. In the average salary in Boston, yeah, in Boston, and then I'm listening to you.
Has dropped sharply in recent years.
Yeah, it has dropped sharply in recent years. People, we're giving a chance to Michael to participate more these days because he's taking an exam urgently, okay? Computer technology improved significantly in the 2000s. You need more time to write the answers. Okay, so the students in the classroom requested that I give them some time to write the answers because I'm rushing, they said. So take your time to think of number 6. Computer technology improved significantly in the 2000s. Yeah. I agree with you, absolutely. Absolutely. There was a significant improvement in computer technology in the 2000s. Girls, you came back and I asked you to participate. And instead of participating, you fall in the trap of talking. Do you want to give me number 7, Georgia, my dear? Steadily. %. Bravo, my girl. All correct. Good job. Do you guys online agree or have you written anything in a different way? Michael and Konstantinos.
Yes, we agree.
Yes.
You agree? Oh, okay. So we're good to go. Next, we can go to the next page, 87. There are some students who need more time to copy the answers. And now we need to focus on different ways through which we can make comparisons. Let's say we are given a graph, and in the graph we need to compare boys versus girls when it comes to the percentage of school children falling ill last year. And 4% of boys fell ill last year, but 2% of girls only fell ill last year, based on the graph. Can I proceed now? Konstantina, are you ready or not yet? You are. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this graph. It's a table graph. So This table compares the percentage of boys and girls who fell ill last year. But how can you, if I ask you to compare those two figures, there can be like different ways to do it. One way would be like 4% of boys fell in. Can you underline this expression? Can you underline this? In comparison, and you need to keep it in your mind. Paste. So in comparison to, or in comparison with. Georgia, do you understand what in comparison means? Can you explain what in comparison means? When you compare two things with each other, yeah? Singrino. Se singrisi.
Se antítesis.
Se singrisi. Not in contrast, but
Okay.
the antithesis and donne. Se singrisi. Michael, you know what it means, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In comparison, just a moment. We can also use it at the beginning of the sentence. In comparison with two girls, comma. If you put it at the beginning, comma, boys fell ill. Okay. Twice as much last year. Twice as much, so 2 times more than the girls. Another way of putting it is 4% of boys fell ill compared with 2% of girls or 2% of girls. Compared to girls is similar. These two are similar. Boys fell ill twice as much last year. So these are almost the same. Can you connect them? And the difference is that you can say in comparison with or compared with. It's the same thing. But we need to have a knowledge of the synonym expressions to be able to have a richer vocabulary when we write. Considering overall figures, the percentage of boys who fell ill last year was comparable to that of the girls, So there was a way through which we could compare it. But I mean, I'm no fan of this option because you don't really explain the way that's comparable. But here it's more interesting to me that we can see that it's twice as much, but here is more vague. You see many vague. What does it mean vague? Yeah, it doesn't give enough information. Yeah, comparable doesn't give enough information as to how it's comparable. But here we know it's like twice as much. Yeah, and here we are given the exact numbers, which is good. So what I know in this exercise is that whenever we say something, we need to always rationalize it with numbers. So don't just say the numbers increased. The numbers increased by, and give the number. Okay, here 4% of boys fell ill in comparison to 2% of girls. We're giving the numbers. It's good. Here we're giving the numbers also. It's twice as much. But here we are not being given any number. So in what case we can use this expression since there are no any specific numbers here? Where would this be suitable? These are the details in the main paragraph. Okay, we are giving exact numbers and exact proportions, analogies, proportions. But here we are not mentioning any numbers, because the purpose of this sentence is to describe what happens overall. So this sentence is suitable more. It's more suitable for the conclusion. You just see the big picture. You don't give numbers. So the number of girls is comparable to that of the boys, but you don't give numbers because it serves conclusion purposes. Michael, do you understand? Constantino?
Yes.
That's why it says overall here. Let's proceed. So right here, this is better for the conclusion, more suitable for the conclusion. Let's see. We learned everything that we have already given in theory. Let's put it in practice. 3-star hotels are 20% more likely to increase their guest capacity in comparison with luxury hotel. Although slightly lower, the number of tourists in 1990. Actually, the thing is, you need to practice. You can say it was similar to, but this exercise wants you to practice and to enrich your vocabulary. So for that purpose, it's asking you to give a synonym word. Yeah. Was similar to. It's given. This is given. In similarity to that. Similarity to that or in by. Was. Any ideas, guys? Do you want to go back?
Comparable.
Was similar. It means it was closed. It was comparable. We don't know exact numbers, but these almost mean, these expressions mean almost the same thing. Was comparable, was similar. 8,000
Can I
guests.
ask you something?
Constantinos?
Yes,
Darling?
we can say that something is comparable when the gap between the numbers is small.
Constantino, I have no clue what you're talking about, but I'm gonna try to understand your question.
We can say that something is comparable when two figures are have close gap, like 1 to 2%. Like in the example, considering over figures, the percentage of boys, like it was 1%, and the other hand, the girls was 2%. So it's a gap between these two was just 1%. We can say that it's comparable.
First of all, the difference, not the gap, the difference between the two percentages is 2%.
Yes.
Not 1%. First of all. Yeah. And guys, do you understand what Constantinos is asking me?
Comparable,
Michael, do you understand Constantino's question? No, just do you understand Constantino's question?
Yes, he's saying about to use was comparable to small changes, not that big difference.
Yeah, is it what you mean? So we are supposed to, you're asking whether we use the word comparable to describe small changes, rather big changes?
Yes.
Yeah. We use the word comparable typically to describe small changes, not big changes. Is there anything else you need to ask me?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure you're covered?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a good question because in Greek, when you say it was comparable, we mean that there is a way to compare the two numbers, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the two numbers are close to each other. This is what you mean. But in English, when we say it was comparable, the numbers should be close to each other. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's why we say we have similar. We have this expression here. The numbers were similar. 8,000 guests stayed in this hotel in 1990. In comparison with, or in comparison to, only 4,590. We need to have a synonym for that word for practice purposes. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good job, darling. Compared to this graph, the increase in tourism at two different hotels between 1980 and 2000. Mary. Yeah, it does compare when examines the increase in tourism. Yeah, in two different hotels, it compares. In 1995, 80% of the tourists staying in hotels were couples or families. Anybody? Compared with, synonym to that? Yeah? Yeah, in comparison to or with. Are you ready? Can I proceed to the next page, please? Or do you still need time to copy the answers? If you have an issue, let me know. Okay. What time do you finish the lesson today? No. I mean, is it 5:30? Okay, thank you for that. Describing processes, useful vocabulary. So when we have to do writing task 1, we have to describe graphs like tables or line graphs or pie graphs and stuff like that. But something else that we need to do to be able to do is to describe processes that we can see on diagrams like processes. Okay, so how do we describe processes? We need to have in hand a series of words to do so. What, Mary? Yeah, of course you can. So we need to have in hand words such as add to put something into a mixture, for example. Insert, but not into, or pour into. We need to have in hand words that mean mix, but not just the word mix. We need to have a rich vocabulary so as to avoid being monotonous, such as combine, like to put things together to make a single unit of a substance, to join with or to stick hard materials together, to blend, like to mix for mixtures. And we need to have a good knowledge of the synonym words. For the word material, for example, different material, substances and ingredients. Material could be plastic, steel, like metal, wood. Different substances could be like chemicals, petroleum, powder, and different ingredients. For example, a recipe, like let's say that we have to describe the procedure of a recipe. It could be sugar, eggs, flour. Okay, so let's keep this in mind to be able to put it in practice now. So let's say that we remember everything we've said, and now we have to practice. After beating the eggs, what do we do? What word would you use in this specific context? Yeah, Nicole. Thank you very much. Silk is a very soft. Yeah. Silk Silk is in Greek we say metaxi. I don't know in Arabic. In Greek it's nah. Do you know what is silk?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know. I can hear you guys. Silk is a very soft. Excuse me.
Material.
Material. It's not working. Yeah. First of all, the powder should be to the other substances in the barrel. Because it's not a liquid, we will say added, not poured. After this, a welding torch is used to the smaller piece of iron to the main bar. I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna look it up. Just a moment. I've got a broken keyboard here. That's why I can't type. Something broke down. Keyboard.
The phloister.
A welding torch is this machine, this equipment that you use to melt metal and join different pieces of metal together. So it makes it soft, and then because you use this fire, yeah. So this is a welding torch. Okay. There are different craftsmen who use it and different technicians. Welding. So you must have seen somebody who does it. It's very dangerous for the eyes, so people have to wear masks, and also it produces an emission. It emits dangerous chemicals in the smoke that it's emitted. So you need to put on that mask to protect yourself from inhaling dangerous chemicals. So after this, a welding torch is used to, because it's a welding torch, so you can imagine what word we need to use here. Yeah.
To join the smaller piece. Why?
When you, I'm going to go back to the theory. Okay. And about combine, it says join together to make a single unit. But when you say join, you mean stick hard materials together. So you make it a solid thing when you put it together. What do you think is the most appropriate one? When you stick two pieces of metal together. What do you think?
Join.
Join. Finally, the butter with the sugar by beating well until light and fluffy. What do you think, guys? The people in class got it right. What about the people online?
Combine.
Yeah, because butter in its natural form is not a liquid. So if it said, if it wrote here liquid butter, you could say pure, but it doesn't say liquid butter. It says butter. So in its pure form, it's not liquid. So you say combine with the sugar by beating well until, and especially because it has here the word with. We say combine with, but we say just pour. We don't say pour with. We say pour. Yeah, but we say combine with. So the preposition is important. Underline the word with here. Acid is a dangerous Constantinum substance and must be handled carefully. After the coin is inserted into the slot, that little hole, the machine will start working. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Do you, Michael, have this page printed or in front of you or something? Oh, okay. So let's describe a process to start putting the theory into practice. Since the process is a sequence of events, we need to be able to use linking expressions which connect our sentences in a logical way that can show the sequence in which things can happen in a process. We need to start with the beginning of the process and obviously end with the final step. Don't just stop halfway. Can you meet me halfway? Right. Okay, so exercise. Fill in the gaps with one of the linking expressions from the box below. Buying online the 4 main steps. So to start with, what would be like a linking word to express, to give the first step when you describe a process? Yes. First step. The first step is, yeah, exactly, Michael. Or I don't know which of you spoke. Which of you spoke?
Michael.
Who was it?
Me.
Me? Michael or Konstantinos? Michael. The first step, correct, Michael, is for the consumer to choose the items they wish to purchase on the seller's website. After that, and we want another suitable linking word, yeah, linking expression. Following that, or maybe both of these are correct. Both of these are correct for the next step, but because here we've got a comma, we cannot say the next step is and then put a comma. So the only thing that we can say to use a comma here is following that comma, the consumer needs to submit their credit card details and personal data to the owner of the website. Number 3.
The next step.
Yeah, yes, exactly. The next step is for the website to send this information to the consumer's bank in order to register for purchase. Number 4. Yes, obviously. Last of all, the consumer's bank makes a payment to the seller's bank in order to complete the sale. Do you remember what is the word limit for writing task 1? You need to write at least 150 words. Have you got this page printed, Michael? Have you got it printed? So there is no maximum. What?
Yes, I have it.
There is no maximum number of words you should write, but there is a minimum number of 150 words, and you need to spare about 20 minutes. If you spend more time, you may risk not being able to finish the whole paper. So estimate a good time for writing task 1 is 20 minutes, and a good time for writing task 2 is 40 minutes to be within the time limit and not run out of time. Learn to recognize roughly how long 150 words looks in your handwriting. For example, okay, Michael doesn't care about his handwriting because he's going to be typing. So it's going to be easier for you. But you people need to figure out, for example, in one line, how many words do you write? Do you write 20, 10? And be able to do the multiplication very quickly. So let's say that you write 10 words in each line. You can do the multiplication very quickly. There is no way on earth that is a good thing to count the words one by one. You don't have that luxury. Okay, so you don't count words one by one. You just roughly estimate the number of words that you've written. Don't do that because you don't have that time. Levon. So, well, we already have to turn graphic information into written text. Okay, in writing task 1. It's not just a simple essay. We must not misinterpret the diagram. We have to write what we see. There may be 2 graphs, not just one. And if there are 2 graphs, most of the time, let's say if we have a pie chart and a bar chart in one exercise, most of the times to deal with this scenario, we have to by the introduction, paraphrases the rubric. Okay. The first paragraph speaks about the first chart, and the second paragraph speaks about the second chart. And then in the final paragraph, you sum up the main points of both of them. If there is a comparison between the two, you give it. Of course, now you may be thinking, what are you talking about? We're going to have a look at different exercises which look like this in practice so that you can feel more confident. We have to focus on the most significant numbers. We have to avoid repetition. We need an introduction, a main body, and a conclusion. And how is it in a few words? Print screen. Let's focus on the be able to focus on underlining the important information. So paraphrase, explain in your own words what information is given in the graph. Main body. You contrast and you compare the main numbers of that you see in the graph, on the graph. Conclusion. It's not a typical conclusion. It's an overview of the main information. And the most important of all is that academic IELTS want you to write in task 1 in a formal language. You use a formal language, which means, what does it mean, a formal language? You must avoid contractions. So you must not say it is, you must say it is not it isn't. You must say, for example, it cannot, not it can't. So when you write the words in their full form, that's a formal way of doing it. If you if you skip letters and put apostrophes, that's a formal version. So don't skip letters. How to get the higher marks possible. Writing fewer than 150 words will result in a lower grade, so aim for at least 150 words. Okay? Don't overdo it. Like, don't write like don't write like many more words than required, not because you're going to be penalized, but because you're going to lose time. If you have time, proofread your answer, because even the best writers, even people who are from England, when we write, we always make careless mistakes. What it means, careless mistakes? These are mistakes that we can handle. Like, for example, Michael, you may write something, there is a mistake in that sentence, but you know what's the mistake and you can correct it yourself. So when we are in a hurry, we make careless mistakes, and there is a very high possibility for you to be able to correct your own mistakes if you give yourself a chance to proofread your answer. Especially you're going to be you're going to be people, you can choose between the written exam and the computer-based exam. If you are good at typing, I highly advise you to take the computer-based exam, because you can easily correct your mistakes because it's on the computer. But when you write, if you spot a mistake that you make, you have to scrabble. This is scrabble. You have to erase it and then write over it, and it doesn't look nice, and you cannot be very flexible. If you change your idea, if you want to correct yourself, if you have noticed something that you need to change, you can do it easily on the paper. using a pen and a paper. But when you do it on the computer, you are more flexible. So if you are good at using the computer, I highly advise you to take the computer-based exam. And you can also retake one part of the exam, not the whole exam, if you take the computer-based. So be ready for that. And really, I don't mind if you, when you do your writing tasks, I don't mind if you do them on the computer to be familiar with it. Like, I accept you to bring me essays that are typed in the computer. I have no problem, because if you can do so, I would advise you to take the computer-based, because it's on your benefit. You are more flexible when you want to change. When you change your mind, you can do it more easily. And also, when you don't need to transfer your answers at the end of the exam, you just write your answer, and it directly, the answer is inserted where it needs to go. You don't need to transfer your answers onto a separate answer sheet at the end of the test. And you don't need to worry about that as well. It goes directly. You write it, it goes directly. You don't need to spend time on that. Pay attention to the tenses you use when describing graphs. Like most of the time when we describe a graph, we use the present simple. But when we refer to the past, when we give, for example, a past date, for example, 2002, we can use a past verb because we gave a past date. When do we use the present simple, for example? The table diagram indicates, because it's something that it does in general. It presents in general, okay? But when do we use the present continuous instead? When there is a change, like Maria is getting fatter because she keeps eating. So why do I use the present? Look, my subconscious mind, what is doing? I'm talking about this topic. I mean, just to raise an example, I think my subconscious mind is playing games with me. Okay, my name is Maria, by the way. Maria is getting fatter and fatter. Okay, anyhow, what I wanted to say is that something is changing. Yes, something is changing, and if it keeps changing, we use the present continuous to describe that. So Raris is getting cleverer and cleverer because he's focused on his studies. Something is when it keeps changing, you can use the present continuous. Sales figures have shown that. Here we see, what tense is this? This is a present perfect, simple. Why? When an action happens started happening in the past, but it continues up to the present, we use the present perfect. For example, let's say that we've got a graph here, and there's a sales, okay, and the sales start, the year here to start with is 2010, and then to finish with, let's go here, let's say it's 2025. Okay, do we still, is it for real that now the year is 2025? The year hasn't finished yet. It's still 2025, yeah? So if it is still 2025 and hasn't finished the year, you're supposed to use a present perfect, because it's not something that's over. Present perfect. So the sales have shown that there is an increase in the profit of the company. Why have shown? Why present perfect? Because it's something that continues to the present. So when do we use the present perfect? When something starts in the past but is not completed in the past, it continues to the present. For example, the classic example, if I say to you, I taught for 10 years, it means that I stopped teaching. But if I say to you, I have taught for 15 years, if I use the present perfect, what does that mean? It means that I still teach. I haven't stopped teaching, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. It's better to say I have been teaching for 15 years because I'm putting attention, I'm giving emphasis to the length of the period that this has been happening. So it's even better if I say have been teaching for 15 years instead of saying I have taught for 15 years. So if I say, if I put an emphasis on the duration and I say for 15 years, it has to be the present perfect continuous. I have been teaching for 15 years. But if I just say that it hasn't finished, so I have taught many children in my life. I've taught, for example, different subjects to many students in my life. Here I'm giving, if I say I have taught, I'm giving an emphasis on the action, not to the duration of the action. So I have taught many different subjects to many different students over my career. I'm not giving an emphasis to the duration. I'm giving an emphasis to the action that I have taught. Okay. Let's go to the past simple. As I already explained to you, when you use the past simple, is to show that something has already happened and it's completed. To describe actions completed in the past at a specified time. During the last quarter, there is a past reference where consumption fell dramatically. So to do that, you need to have a reference of a year that's a past year, not a current year. Past date. Past perfect simple to describe change which had happened before a specified time in the past. Past perfect simple, how do we write the past perfect simple? The past perfect is the one that we've been doing. So it's have, has, and the third column. But no, I'm wrong. That's not the past perfect. That's the present perfect. I have taught many students. Okay. The past perfect. Anybody?
Third column. Had and third column.
Had, not have. Had.
Past participle.
Yeah. Past participle. And the purpose of this is to show that something happened before something else. For example, do you want to give me an example? I had left before you arrived. So something happened first before something else occurred. That's a function of it, of a past perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So by the year 2011, something happened before that. So before that. Okay. So we'll try to raise a point where something happened before a date or before a past action, before it. That's all about the past perfect. And then we need to use linking words, okay, to have a very nice natural flow in our passage. And then we're going to have a look at the linking words in the next lesson. Michael, if you are in a rush, you can have a look at the linking words as well on your own, because I know that you're doing some self-study as well to cope with everything. Guys, you are good to go, but I need to obviously assign you some homework. So because we have been covering many information on the writing task 1, if anybody is kind enough to tell me which writing task 1 you have already covered, so that I know what to assign you next, that would be great. 100, have you already done 127 page? Have you already done writing the writing task 1 of test 1? You've already done page 127. Okay, so I'm going to go to another writing task 1 for further practice. Just give me a moment. Okay, we've got a bar graph on page 145. Have you done that?
100.
Okay, I want you to give it a go.
145. What was
I
it?
want you to give it a go. Yeah, bar graph. On page 155. Amongst the people who are online, who needs to have the page sent to them?
I need to have them to Michael.
You need to have it. Michael needs to have it. Costantino, do you have that page in front of you?
Of course.
You
I
have your book there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Costantino, you're good to go. It was a pleasure having a lesson with you today. We'll see you next
Thank you
time.
very much.
Malcolm, I was gonna send you the book, but as Stasos told me, it's very hard to be able to ship something to Syria at the moment because of different limitations. So that's why I haven't sent you the physical book. Yeah, but that's a pity, Michael, because you know what? I've tried to copy the file and send it to you, to be honest. And what I did is that I've opened this file. If you can see my PC, you know that. Just a moment, darling. I'm gonna close the program so that it opens up. Nah. This PC. Desktop.
Teacher, can I ask something before I leave the chat?
Costantino, I need not tell you anything else. We've finished the lesson. The only thing you have to do is to do 155. Do you need to ask me anything before you leave?
No.
No, my dear. Okay. But
Thank you very much.
Bye, my dear. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, Michael, back to you now.
Yes.
Just a moment. What I've done is I have copied this folder, the entire folder, and I uploaded it. And then normally, if you click here, you need to set up the book on your computer. Have you tried to set it up on your computer?
Yes, I tried, but it need an app or something to do with it. I went to someone expert with him. He said it didn't work.
You've tried and didn't work. Maybe there are some protection copyright thing there to prevent people from copying the book. Okay, let's I'm gonna have to send it to Opera. Just a moment. Let's find our browser here. So up to what page have you got there? From the secretary, what has she given you?
90. This one we ended the lesson with.
So we were marginally there. Okay. Okay. IELTS exam. All right. So I am going to send it. So can you see? I want you to try doing this one.
Yes, I'll take a screenshot.
I am sending it to you right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to say to Yestimani to send you a few more pages to read, okay? Just actually, what just a moment. So when it comes to your IGCSE lesson, because we do passages and you need to keep in contact, you know, to be exposed to the language. That's why we advised you to participate in that lesson as well. You have nothing to lose, just to gain new vocabulary and practice the language further, because you know there is in both examinations there is this thing called reading comprehension and passages in both exams. So it's going to be beneficial for you if you're exposed to more passages. In that sense, we advised you to participate in both of them. So you are exposed into the English language for more hours in a week, because you don't have time ahead. That's why. But yeah, it's up to you whether you want to participate in both of them, in both of the different levels. The most important thing for you is to attend the IELTS, of course. So I have sent you this one, and then I'm going to say to the secretary to keep sending you the following pages. And if you need more pages, just text me to send you more, okay? Okay, my dear.
Monday class, and I will be tomorrow also for the passages and the reading. All this
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. That's the best thing to do. You have to be in contact with the language as much as possible at this very stage. Okay. Okay. It was a pleasure having you in the lesson today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, my dear.